So tonight we're going to make egg custard pie. And before you ever cook anything, the first thing you do is you wash your hands. Whether you're at home or whether you're not, you always wash your hands. And wash your hands means immersing them for 3 minutes in hot water. Always. If you wash your hands in cold water, it doesn't take the bacteria. You wash your hands in hot water. Try to immerse them as much as possible, maybe 2 minutes. If you can't do 2 minutes, try to do 3 minutes because it takes all the bacteria off your hands. Okay? That's the first thing you do when you're cooking. Anything is wash your hands and be clean, especially when you wear gloves. So what we're doing tonight is we're going to make egg custard pie. And I'm going to give you the ingredients. You need, I'm making 2 pies, so I have 2 9-inch pie pastry shells. And I like to use Marie Calendar because it has the best ingredients and it's all natural. So we're going to put our pie shells aside. Now sometimes you have to bake your pie first, that's when you're making quiche. But in this case, we don't do that because your pie shells are going to cook along with your pies with the eggs. I normally like to put my pie shells there. What you're going to need on this is you're going to need 2 9-inch pie shells. You're going to need 6 eggs beaten. You're going to need not 3/4 cup of sugar, but maybe 2 cups of sugar to make it taste good. Then you're going to need a pinch of salt. You're going to need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And you're going to need 2 egg whites. Okay, and you're going to need 5 cups of scalded whole milk. So let's start with our egg whites. So your egg whites, normally when I crack my eggs, I normally put them in a separate bowl so the shells, because I can see through this bowl, I can crack my eggs directly in there. So I'm going to first take my 6 eggs, and I'm going to make sure there's no shells in there whatsoever. You got to be sure there's no shells. But wait a minute, we got to have the egg whites. So we need, I think we said 1 egg white. So we need 2 egg whites. Okay, so in order to do that, what we do is crack 2 eggs, get a separate container. In this case, we have our little bowl. And we're going to take the yellows. We're going to get rid of the yellows. You need egg whites, so you're going to get rid of the yellows. There you go. Okay, there you go. Always rinse your hands off because it's unsanitary. There's bacteria. Wash your hands after every touch of bacteria. Immerse 2 minutes if possible. You act like that 2 minutes. Okay. Now we got the egg whites separated. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have 3 eggs beaten. Again, I normally use a regular bowl so I can see the shells, but because this is see-through, I know if I can see the shells or not. So we're going to put our actually 6 eggs in here because we're making 2 pies. That's 1. Look for shells. 2. If you crack with a knife, normally a knife will go right through the eggs. It doesn't crack the eggs. If you try to break it on your cabinet or whatever, you're going to get eggshells. So 1 slice through there. Open it up. Look for shells. That was 3 eggs. 1 slice to the middle. Crack. Look for eggshells. That's 4. That's 5. Always look for eggshells. You don't want eggshells in nothing that you cook. And that's 6. And my rule of thumb is when I get done with everything, I put whatever I'm not using, I put it back where it goes. In this case, it goes back in the refrigerator. I'm going to put this back because I don't like things around me. Okay, so now it says 6 eggs beaten. So get your mixer on low, never on high. Because the overbeat eggs are too fluffy, especially making a pie. So, enough to make sure they're beaten. Okay. So, that's all you need right there. And always make sure you have a napkin for your drainage. You don't want to make a mess with your cooking. So there you go, right there. So your drain's right there now. Okay, so after that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna put the sugar. You're gonna have three-quarters cup of sugar. So in this case, we're gonna do a cup of sugar and a half for our pies. So I don't really measure anything. I'm sorry about that, but I just have a knack for knowing. So I'm gonna use a cup and a half of sugar in a coffee cup, which a coffee cup usually equates to 1 cup, but in this case, it's more than 1 cup. So we're gonna do like maybe a cup, maybe a cup and a half of this. So you're gonna put that in there. There's your sugar. Okay. Then with your sugar, you're gonna add your okay, hold on a second, guys. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, so then after our sugar, just bear with me, you know, computer technology. There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, so after our sugar, okay, so we're gonna mix. We got our eggs and our salt. Now the salt is very important. You don't want to put too much salt in there. You do a quarter teaspoon per pie. So this is 2/8 of a teaspoon, which equates up to a half a teaspoon. So if you could look in there, that's all the salt you need. You don't need a lot of salt. Drop that in there. And the salt's only just for flavor. You don't necessarily need salt. And then you're gonna need 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. Pure vanilla extract, not the fake artificial. Pure vanilla. So in this case, this is not a teaspoon. Everybody thinks it's a teaspoon. It's not a teaspoon. So what you do is you get a tablespoon, and you're gonna do a tablespoon and a half, which really equates to 2 teaspoons. So we got. Remember, do not ever get artificial vanilla. Always get extract. Okay, so we're gonna do 1 tablespoon, but I like a lot of vanilla, so I'm gonna put a little more. Okay, thank you. So my assistant chef is saying something. So, okay, so always be clean though when you do anything. Okay, so then we're gonna put. I already have my milk. You gotta have 2.5 cups of scalded milk, which equals to 5 cups of milk, which is not enough. So we're gonna boil the milk, get our milk on. You gotta have the scalded milk. And you're saying, well, why would you have scalded milk with eggs? Because we want it creamy. So we're gonna let that boil. That's 5 cups of milk. By eyesight. I didn't measure anything. Okay, in the meantime, we're going to this egg white that we have. Okay, I know you guys are saying, what are you going to do with the egg white? What we're going to do with that is we're going to beat the egg white. And then you're going to take a brush. And you're going to brush your pie crust. Okay, so it'll be nice and crispy and pretty good for your pies. Okay? So you're going to take your egg white. And you're just going to brush. Like that. That's what your egg whites are for. Just brush the pie crust. You'd be surprised the difference that you get. Yeah. And use all of it. Don't be generous with it. You know? Brush your pie crust all around the top. You're going to use all of it. Okay? I wish I could fast forward, but I can't, so you're going to have to bear with the brushing. Here we go. Just use all of it. Just brush. And you're going to be so surprised brushing your pie crust with your egg whites. It's going to come out so golden and crispy and juicy. It's really a good thing. A lot of people don't do this. They don't do it. They just say, oh, I'll put my dessert in the pie crust and they come out. No. Now, see, I didn't get the edges, so get the edges really good. And make sure you use all of it. Just be generous. Remember, egg whites, pie crust. Don't forget that. It's very important when you're baking pies. Very important. Okay, I think that's enough. Okay, so we got our pie crust ready to go. So they're ready to go. So let them sit where the egg whites can saturate into the dough. So when it bakes, it's going to fluff up and be more fluffier and crispier than a regular pie crust. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start mixing, remember, our eggs, our sugar, and our vanilla together. But wait a minute, we forgot something. So we have to put our nutmeg. Now, how much nutmeg do you use? Well, how much you want to use? I personally do not like a lot of nutmeg. In this case, I'm not a nutmeg. I did this on purpose. So by me being on nutmeg, you can resort to cinnamon. So we're going to do cinnamon. Just enough to cover. When I do pies, I do cinnamon enough to just give it a color. Nutmeg and cinnamon really, it smells good, but it really doesn't really give you any flavor. So, in this case, you have to have your thing on high, so your pies will come out real fluffy. Now I recommend it about 30 seconds. Turn your bowl, that way you get all of it. Turn. And I usually stop and I'm telling you something right now. You gotta taste it. You gotta like take your if you're cooking for other people, don't use your finger. But if you're cooking for yourself, you can use your finger. So we're gonna have our milk scalded because the milk is what's gonna make the pie. So we're gonna take like a dab because I don't like raw eggs. That's very good. Very good. Very good. But I would like to have a little bit more sugar. Always rinse your spoon off. Oh, that's really good. That's really, really good. Maybe no more sugar. That's really, really good. So I'm going to let my taster over here taste a little bit of this and let him see what he thinks about it. And, very good. Okay, so in the meantime, you cannot beat your eggs enough. You can keep beating them. That way your pie is almost up there. Get on low. The vanilla and the cinnamon are next to the sugar. This is going to be a really good custard pie. You got to turn your bowl. Turn your bowl and make your eggs fluffier. Fluffier, fluffier. You can't sit there and be like this. You have to turn your bowl. Turn your bowl, turn your bowl, turn your bowl. Go around. And the more you mix it, the fluffier that your pie is going to be. That's good. Remember? Make sure you have something to drip your things on because we don't want to be a sloppy cook. So now, all we're waiting for now is spoiled milk. And we got our salt, we got our everything, we got everything. And I think that you can put yellow food coloring in there if you want your pies to be like yellow, which I don't recommend that. So the reason why you put the egg whites in there because so your crust won't be soggy. Okay. So now what we're gonna do, and we're gonna set our stove here because it's 40 to 50 minutes. So when you set your stove, it's very important that you set this because you don't want to overcook it. Okay. There you go. So let's set it for 50 minutes. And our milk is scalding. It has to be scalded. Okay. Let's set it for 50 minutes. We'll set it 55 by the time the milk is done. Okay, so you have the milk. Bring that phone over here. So the milk is scalding. It has to be scalding. Scalding means, or scalding rather. That means a film on top. So what you got to do, you got to be careful. You got egg mixture in there. So when you drop it in there, you got to hurry up and beat it, or else it'll cook the egg. Hurry up and beat it. So much cooking in there. Keep in it. Because if you put that egg the whole egg. See, it's cooking already. Alright, let's get our pie crust together. You got herbs poured in there, you ready? See how it's cooking already? So when you put that squirt of milk in there, you gotta hurry up and beat it because it'll cook that egg mixture and your pies are done. They're just messed up. So now you got your custard, which in this case I think we make too much. No, we might do that. Okay. Here we go. It looks beautiful. 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 We can put a little bit more in this one. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So what we want to do is sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon. Whoops. Make sure. A little bit of cinnamon. And I would probably sprinkle a little bit of sugar on there, just make it like a coating, a thick coating on top. That's a little bit more cinnamon on that one. I prefer. So then what you do is that, you know, if you're home, you just take a little bit of sugar and just sprinkle on there. That make you make a little bit of coating. There you go. See? Set your oven on 350. If I've already preheated the oven. Okay, so let me get this out. These are perfect custard pies. Perfect custard pies. They're not going to boil over anything because they're going to settle when you get them in there. These are perfect. But you got to get them in there so that scalding milk does not cook those eggs. There's one. Beautiful. Absolutely. You got a picture of that? Absolutely beautiful. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we're going to turn the light on in the oven. Oh, gotta be careful, don't drop it. These are beautiful. They are going to come out so fluffy and custardy. They're just beautiful. Look at that. Here's a picture of that. And there's it. So now they have to cook for 50 minutes. Don't try to take them out early because the eggs won't be done. And that's how you make an egg custard pie. And we'll get back with you on the results. It's so easy. My name is Kandie from Kandie's Kitchen. And that's how I make an egg custard pie.